Veer, Sunanda and Shashi had both been in relationships before this, serious relationships, both had been married as well. Sunanda has dealt with heartbreak, a marriage breaking away earlier. Why do you think Mehr Tarar in particular bothered her so much? Because sure, Shashi as a smart, charming, articulate person does attract a lot of female attention, and that's the way it's been with him for the longest time. But why in your view, as someone who knew this couple so closely, did Sunanda have such strong problems with Mehr Tarar that she actually had to take to a public forum to diss what Shashi and Mehr were doing?
Well, I don't know, Rahul, is the honest answer. I really don't know. Shashi's been married twice before. So neither of them were a young virginal couple getting into this. Sunanda has a grown-up son. I'm not even sure. Perhaps we'll never know. Perhaps there's reason to make an uproar about Mehr Tarar. And she spoke about this months ago to me. So it's not new or she suddenly found out. Perhaps this was part of a greater unraveling. Perhaps when she found out she was ill, you said she told you she was unwell. Perhaps there were other things wrong with her and she just imploded and all of this came to the fore. I don't know.
Okay, Meenakshi Lekhi is with us. Meenakshi, your response to this very unfortunate news coming in this evening of Sunanda Tharoor committing suicide?
Very sad, because from a woman's perspective, I think she was undergoing depression, and only when one is depressed one would attempt something like this. And she definitely required the help of people who she thought loved her at one point, and she definitely didn't get the requisite help or attention which she should have got. And my heart goes out to her son, because no matter whatever relationship, but a mother is a mother, and losing a mother even when you're grown up is not easy. And from a woman's perspective, I think it's not easy being an independent, brave woman anyways. So you pay a very heavy price for being one, and I guess emotionally she did pay.
This is very, very unfortunate. What is happening is really unfortunate. And Veer Sanghvi, I want your sense of how things went so horribly wrong. You know, you're saying that they were deeply in love and had been since the time they got married. We remember this courtship where Shashi and Sunanda were constantly BBMing each other, constantly messaging each other. What's your sense of why the relationship went so wrong so quickly?
I have no idea, Rahul. I mean, I was not privy to the details of their personal life, but my sense on this is I'm not sure the relationship itself went so wrong. I think Sunanda had issues with depression. I think in some ways now, looking back, the way in which she was so exuberant in public, there was an element of that tears of a clown. She was trying to cover up for some breaking heart stuff that she had inside, some sense of depression, some sense of mental instability. As you yourself have said, people of that age who've been married before, who have grown up children, don't commit suicide over an affair that they already knew about some months ago. Clearly there was something deeper here, and I suspect it probably had to do with Sunanda's own state of mind, her own depression, rather than any relationship Shashi might have had.
And they also put out a joint statement yesterday. First, Shashi tweeted to say that someone had hacked into his account. Then they put out a joint statement, and I'll read out from this joint statement. We are distressed by the unseemly controversy that has arisen about some unauthorized tweets from our Twitter accounts. Various distorted accounts of comments allegedly made by Sunanda have appeared in the press. It appears that some personal and private comments responding to these unauthorized tweets, comments that were not intended for publication, have been misrepresented and led to some erroneous conclusions. We wish to stress that we are happily married and intend to remain that way. Sunanda has been ill and hospitalized this week and is seeking to rest. We would be grateful if the media respects our privacy. Clearly, Veer Sanghvi, this was not a statement that she was fully on board with. This was a statement that was put out on Shashi Tharoor's Facebook page, and very clearly Sunanda didn't fully agree with the contents of that statement. Veer.
Yeah, in fact, she told people that no, he's talking nonsense, his account wasn't hacked, etc. So obviously, she didn't agree with that. But equally, you know, when people are in the throes of depression, there are manic phases and low phases. It may have been that in a manic phase, she agreed for him to say this and to say that they would go on with the marriage. In a low phase, in depression, that can happen like within a couple of hours. She said, no, no, we will divorce. There was, in fact, in her personality, we can all say this now, a certain yo-yo element, a certain up and down element. And I don't know, Shashi's never spoken about this to me, I don't know, perhaps he's spoken to his friends. It can't have been necessarily that easy for him to cope as well. So let's not just write him off as a man who was unfaithful and drove his wife to suicide. We don't know the inside story. We don't know what he went through. But I will tell you that from what I know of Sunanda, the idea of infidelity, affairs, she was a woman of the world. She'd been married. She had a grown-up son. This isn't enough for her to commit suicide. There obviously has to be something else.